We have no fear of whatever Trump is doing on the other side. And I've just signed off on a huge mechanization, program that every region we have a mechanized center for agric mechanization and have trainees and all of that. That is our path to food sovereignty, food security. You remove hunger from poverty, you have defeated poverty. All I can promise you is where we started and where we're going. And your children's education, the path to Nigerian recovery, we are on it. Go home, be assured. Don't let anybody threaten you of any uncertainty. We are certain we are going to succeed. That's what we believe in. The honesty in Buhari, what we inherited from him, is total commitment to justice, transparency, and success. That's all. And you have anything less than that, you will have joy at the end of this journey. And we will jointly put dime, nickel, kobo, toro together. We will build a Buhari house. That house will be a house of joy and prosperity. I thank you very, very much. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Just two quick announcements. First of all, at this point, we are going to have the family.
But they are systematically killing the Christians in Nigeria. They've killed over 100,000 since 2009. They've burned 18,000 churches. This is so much more. These are their Islamists, Boko Haram. This is so much more of a genocide attempt than what is going on in Gaza. They are literally attempting to wipe out the Christian population of an entire country.
Bill Maher and I don't agree on a lot, but boy, we do on this, and he was fabulous there. Christians in Nigeria need help.
October the 14th, 15 people were killed in the area south of Jos. 5 of them children from ages 2 to 5 actually. And of course, you look at those videos, I didn't share the most gory part. Of course, a lot of them you will see their brains hanging out. Of course, they shot them in close range, chiefly while they were sleeping at about 10 p.m. local time.
Nigeria, and what can America do with our economic might and all of our influence to try to stop this madness and this ongoing slaughter? What power do we have over this part of the world?
Well, let me speak specifically to Nigeria. This is why I've requested for Nigeria to be designated a country of particular concern, which Trump had done in his first administration. But of course, the Biden administration took that designation off because they claimed the killing had more to do with land disputes that were started because of climate change. Hard to believe, but that's what they had claimed in this. So we're asking for this designation to get put back on because it actually made a difference in slowing down and stopping killings in this region. But we have to do something to stop this.
Well, Congressman, public awareness is growing and people want answers and want action. Congressman, thank you very much.
Ourselves that these things don't happen.
Yes,
let's say the truth.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't affect us. We are here to speak for people. That's why God put us here. And God will ask us questions.
What we're saying is that it's not
That's just
Christians are being targeted. Muslims are also being targeted.
Yeah, this
Yes,
is the point
We
that
have a
But Christians are
country
killed.
in which we are all living in a pressure cooker
Right.
situation.
Right.
The responsibility of government is to make this country safe
Yes.
for all of us.
Have they done
And
it?
that's why we say government needs to do more.
Absolutely.
Then
Needs
we
to
should
do
not
more since over 10
we
years.
should desist from
Right.
inflaming ethnic
Nobody's
or religious
inflaming
passion.
anything.
And I think
Things are
that's the
happening
right
against
point.
Christians.
Disease from inflaming ethnic passions, like what the minister has said. Right. Well, good morning to you, viewers. We're beginning what's trending in the United States, where Senator Ted Cruz has accused the Tinubu administration of being very unhappy with him for bringing the topic of the reported killings of Christian genocide in Nigeria to the forefront, including the proposed legislation to designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Cruz made the comments on an episode of his podcast on Wednesday, with the senator saying that too many leaders in Nigeria have turned a blind eye to what is happening in the country. Let's take a look.
And as you know, I've been very vocal calling out the mass murder of Christians. Over 50,000 Christians have been murdered in Nigeria since 2009. Over 20,000 churches and schools have been destroyed, burned to the ground. And you have Boko Haram and other radical Islamic terrorist groups that are targeting and persecuting Christians in particular. And I will tell you, the government of Nigeria is very unhappy with me. They have decried my saying this. I have introduced legislation to designate them a country of special concern. And the government of Nigeria is very unhappy. And I've said, look, there are far too many government leaders who have turned a blind eye to what is happening, who have acquiesced in what is happening, who are enforcing either Sharia laws or blasphemy laws and facilitating the persecution of Christians. And as I said, the Nigerian government has been vigorously resisting me in this.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, spoke with CNN on Tuesday, accusing Ted Cruz of relying on inaccurate and misleading data to allege a Christian genocide in Nigeria. Idris said that such claims fail to reflect the complexity of the country's security challenges and warned that spreading such claims unknowingly supports criminals whose main aim is to stir religious tension. Let's take a look.
Some of the claims made by some officials in the United States is based on faulty data. Some of them, some assumptions that the victims of this religious violence are largely Christian. Yes, there are Christians that have been attacked, but these criminals do not just target one religion. They target Christians. Yeah. They also target Muslims. We have seen that in several parts of, especially the northern part of the country. So yes, indeed, we have security challenges in Nigeria, but we also have to recognize that there is a massive drive by government to ensure that Nigeria is ultimately safe for everyone. But for the records, we want to say that Nigeria is a very tolerant country when it comes to religion. We don't want these dangerous narratives to go on because criminal elements and some of these extremists are driving this narrative and pushing people to believe that Nigerian Muslims and Christians are fighting each other. This is not the case.
All right, once again, Dr. Bati, we are seeing how this issue has grown to becoming one of global importance, that a senator seems to be following developments on this topic locally. The question now is how to address religious persecution in Nigeria. The minister is emphasizing that, characterizing the attacks as being against Christians alone will drive Nigeria towards unnecessary division, noting that, criminals want to portray the situation as a fight between Christians and Muslims. And that's about the most important soundbite I got from that interview with Mohammed Idris, talking about the fact that this idea of a Christian genocide is actually fueling the terrorists more. Your thoughts?
There's a disconnect in the global information world order, that's what it is called, whereby you have the Western media having a mindset about, what is categorized as the third world. And in the case of Nigeria, what sells in the American media will be to say, North versus South in Nigeria, Christians versus Muslims. This has been the trope over the years, and which is why we often commend the efforts of African-based media like Arrest News in trying to tell the story of Africa from a different perspective, to say that it is not as bleak as the Western media tries to portray. The problem is one of Boko Haram, as one of the commentators pointed out, of insurgency and banditry. And what government says is that it is continuing to deal with it. We were once placed on the Department of State's, U.S. Department of State's country of particular concern in terms of religious freedom. Now, at another time, we were reconsidered. We were removed from that list. But it looks like there are some people who are saying, look, Nigeria must go back onto that list of country of particular concern. When Bishop Matthew Azam Kuka, the bishop of the Catholic Diocese, intervened in the matter, some people began to attack him, saying that, he was saying that, look, he lives in the heartland of Islamic religion, Sokoto, and it's not as if Nigerians and Muslims are fighting themselves. But like other countries, we have these issues, and government is dealing with these issues. I think this narrative calls for a moment when we should be, patriotic and say that our country is not a country where Christians and Muslims are openly fighting. But we have issues in terms of unity, in terms of the centrifugal forces, and, government just needs to wake up to its responsibility, because no country can survive a civil war twice. No country can survive a religious war. And it should not be the objective for patriotic persons in this country to try to instigate and fuel that narrative to look for a blowout war between Christians and Muslims.
All right, they're asking us to go to the next story, but you're quickly.
Okay, real quickly. Nobody's saying that we want, we don't love our country. We love our country, but loving our country also means we should tell the truth. Oji, it's like yesterday, a pastor in Kaduna came out to say a lot of people were killed. It was reported in the papers. This is not Ted Cruz reporting this.
No, we are reporting the case.
This is what
we have
are
been reporting, yes.
Oji, a child born in 2009, when all of this started, will be 16 getting ready for university today. We're sitting down here. Yes, we don't want our country to be put on country of concern list. But when will our government solve this problem, Oji? Is it because all of us here, none of us, our relatives have been killed?
Or even directly affected?
Maybe when people that are close to us are directly affected, we will know that it is time to speak up for these people. Oji, these killings